Hey guys, this is... You've probably heard that scream before, right? That's because it is known as one of the most popular and well-regarded... No, I'm just kidding. It's a scream that was started as a joke, and yet we have an entire This Is episode all about it. This is a topic that has been requested a lot by the audience because, well, you may have noticed we use it pretty regularly in our videos. So the Wilhelm scream has been a staple in movies and television for almost 70 years. It's even made its way into video games such as Red Dead Redemption. This famous scream has appeared in hundreds if not thousands of films. According to IMDb, there are 410 major films that have used the Wilhelm scream, but that doesn't necessarily include things like low-budget indie films, student films, or This Is episodes. At least not yet.
We're on there, we're on IMDb.
This scream is so famous that not only is there a beer named after it, but there's even a band called the Wilhelm Scream, which is just actually an awesome band name. But the question is, where did the Wilhelm scream come from? The first Wilhelm scream appeared in a 1951 western, Distant Drums, when a soldier walking through a swamp was attacked by an alligator. Actor and musician Sheb Wooley is the original voice of the Wilhelm scream, although he actually wasn't credited in the original film. It wasn't until someone dug up some old call sheets in the Warner Brothers archives that it was discovered that Sheb was the amazing actor that did the... I'm just gonna keep doing that and expect that Josh is actually gonna add the Wilhelm scream and I'm not just opening my mouth like an idiot.
The two aren't mutually exclusive.
Some might recognize Wooley from a number of other westerns, including The Lone Ranger and Rawhide, but most will probably recognize him from his novelty song, The Purple People Eater. Is that why we have a purple background? Oh, I got that. Sheb's acting direction was simple. Make it sound like you're being bit by an alligator. I guess it's hard to go much simpler than that. He recorded 6 different screams, all in a single take, and the other 5 screams were used in other places in the film, but only one became famous. All of those screams got added to the Warner Brothers sound effects library, and this was regularly used in a number of their other films, because as a studio, especially back in the day, it is so much easier and cheaper to just reuse that same stock of sound effects instead of having to record a new one for every single time you need it in every single movie you make. Back in the day, they made a lot of movies back to back to back. Actually, I guess they kind of do that still.
Well, in the studio era, they would make a couple a day.
2 movies a day?
They were short, but yeah.
Damn. 2 years later, in 1953, in The Charge at Feather River, the scream was used when a character, Private Wilhelm, is shot in the leg with an arrow. From then on, it became known as the Wilhelm scream. A number of USC film students recognized the distinctive scream constantly, so as a joke, they started including the sound effect in as many of their student films as possible. One of those students was Academy Award-winning sound designer Ben Burtt, who, fun fact, also is the voice of WALL-E.
WALL-E.
I've actually never seen WALL-E.
What?
Burtt was brought on to do sound design for a fellow USC graduate, a little guy named George Lucas, on a project that really wasn't expected to be a success, Star Wars. But we all know how that turned out, right? Continuing the USC tradition, Burtt included the Wilhelm scream as Luke shoots a stormtrooper. From there, it became his calling card, as he used it in just about everything he worked on, including huge films such as Indiana Jones and basically every Star Wars license out there. According to Burtt, him and fellow sound designer Richard Anderson, who did the sound for films such as Tremors and Beetlejuice, would have a game of one-upsmanship, placing it in each of their projects. Now, other directors, such as Quentin Tarantino and Peter Jackson, wanted in on the joke, and they began including it in their own films. And with that, the Wilhelm scream took off, although awareness was mostly limited to groups of film buffs who were in on the joke. That was until the internet. Starting around 2005, when YouTube became a thing, supercuts of the iconic scream made it well known to the general public, to the point of being a meme, and a lot of people felt like it was becoming a cliche. More recently, Burtt has said that it's just not as much fun to add the scream anymore, especially considering that it's not really an Easter egg when everyone knows about it. Last Jedi and Rogue One were the first Star Wars films in over 40 years that did not include it. But that, of course, won't stop us from using it. Thank you so much for watching this little episode all about the Wilhelm scream. If you guys enjoyed This Is, definitely be sure to not only subscribe to the channel, but ring that notification bell, tell a friend, and please give Matt a cookie. He's hungry.
Wow. But yeah.